Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about homeschooling in the state of Massachusetts, and we're going to cover a variety of things. So one of the things, if you're homeschooling in the state of Massachusetts, one of the things you're probably going to want to do at the beginning of the year with your students is find assessment tests on the internet for them and print them out and have them take them, so that you can see what level they are in different subjects. They may not be on the same level in one subject as they are in another. And you can find free placement tests online and you can Google search for them. But this one was some math placement tests that I found, and this is another website that has math placement tests. So you can Google search for assessment tests, and that will help you set a goal of what you need to teach your students, or even things that they might just need to review. And I think that would be great. You can throw that in your portfolio or your binder for your student. This is something else. If you've never homeschooled before, you're going to want to create a list. And I like the way they have this list. For an example, you can list your books. You might not want to list all of your books, but your textbooks, or you can have reading books that you list, your general homeschool supplies. You can list your online subscription. You can list your favorites and things like that when you're brainstorming and you're not sure what you're going to use. And then later make a list similar to this and just list the ones that you're actually going to use, or even just highlight the ones that you've decided that you're going to use. And that way you have the brainstorming list for the next year if you decide to use something else. So I thought this would help you be able to make your list. You can list your field trips and things like that, and that way it's organized. And you can type it up, or you can write it in a notebook and put lines on it, however you want to do it. You can just put it on notebook paper and write it on there and throw it in your portfolio or your binder, or you can print it off and type it up all nice and neat. This is from, you can see the web address where it's located. It is online, and you can go on there and get that and print that out. And North Carolina put it up, so you can print it out if you need a attendance record for your students. And I might do two of them, one of them tentative and mark off the days that you plan on having school. You can X them off or use highlight markers, and the days you plan on having field trips, and one for the days that you actually do. And I thought, wow, that's an excellent. So you can do that. Or you can get free printable calendars on the internet. And this is the HSLDA website, and you can go on there and you can join them, and they will help you if you have legal problems, because I'm not an attorney and I can't help with legal problems, but I can help with my opinion on things. And this is what it says right now, and you can read that. So you never know if you might need legal help, and I think it might be like $12 a month. So, and they have forms and things if you might need them too. But it says there are 4 areas a superintendent or school committee may consider when reviewing a notice of intent. That you have to do a notice of intent. You have to have a proposed curriculum and number of hours of instruction. And you can find curriculum online. Like if you're doing IXL, it's easy to print the curriculum from IXL. And if you're doing a workbook, I might do like a complete curriculum online and then a curriculum workbook, and do the one online for 3 hours a day and the workbook for an hour a day. And then you can copy the curriculum from the notebook and put that in your binder as well as printing out the one on the internet, so that you have, very complete curriculum, I would think. But the competency of the parents. Parents do not need college or advanced degrees, but they need to be competent. Textbook, workbooks, or other instructional aids to be used so that the superintendent or committee can determine the subjects to be taught and the grade level of instruction for comparison with the curriculum of the public schools. The method of assessment used to ensure educational progress and attain minimum standards. The superintendent of schools committees can require standardized testing or may substitute with approval of the parents another form of assessment. And yes, I think standardized testament would be wonderful, and you might do that at the end of the year whenever they have you do that, and put that in your binder portfolio as well. We suggest that you notify your local superintendent at the beginning of the school year. Along with the notice, we recommend that you provide a list of materials you intend to use, a brief description of the curriculum and or subjects to be taught, and a description of your qualifications or the qualifications of others who will be instructing your children. HSLDA members may use our specifically designed notice of intent forms below and contact us for special advice. So they have first year notices of intent, and they have notice of intent to continue homeschooling available below. So they have a lot of forms which would help you. You have to teach the required subjects, and you can go on there and read more about the different things you have to do. Well, they have a lot of required subjects. There are no specific requirements in Massachusetts law for how often each of the subjects must be taught or what grade levels. It is their general recommendation that each of the required subjects to be taught at an age-appropriate level every year during elementary and middle schools, and at least once in high school level. You have to keep good records. There is no explicit legal requirement that homeschool records be kept. However, certain assessments may require various records and work samples. So if you're keeping a portfolio or a binder, just an idea, if you do placement tests at the beginning of the year, you might want to keep those in there. You're going to probably want to print off your state homeschool laws and put the date on there that you printed them off. Copies of any forms filed with the state, hopefully dated and stuff like that, put in there. A couple of calendars or attendance records, you're going to want those in there. You're brainstorming your favorite resources, and then the actual resources you're going to use included the curriculum and field trips that you plan on taking, the printout of the contents of the websites like IXL and the workbooks, sample work when you have the students do work and you can decide if you want to showcase their best work, put progressive work, or do it as a variety of skills, or if you want to do all three. Proof of field trips taken, a weekly schedule, daily log of activities, which would be like day 1, the date, the time that you start each subject, the name of the subject, the name of the workbook or the internet website you're using, and the actual activity that they're doing during the subject. And you can see the name of the activity in the contents page of the workbook or on the website usually. And if you have to do standardized tests, you're going to want to keep that in there. Any assessments that you write during the year, you might want to write an assessment I would say every 6 to 8 weeks. You might want to write assessments every now and then as well as every 6 to 8 weeks in each subject of the student and how well they're doing. And I would put a positive spin on anything negative, like if they're struggling with reading and they have a positive attitude, then you could put, oh, they're struggling with this, but they're positive, they have a positive attitude, and at the end of the year you can say, oh, they went up 5 reading levels in 1 year, even though they were struggling, and we think it was because of their positive attitude. If they do volunteer work or outside classes that are taken, you might want to have certificates drawn up and try to get people that are there to complete the certificates or write something up for documentation to put in your portfolio or your binder, especially if they're going to go to college later, so they have that. Contacts with emails and addresses for schools and support groups, you're going to want to put that in your binder. If you go on field trips, you might want a flyer or some kind of pamphlet they have and write the date on it. Have your student create a page of what they enjoyed the most or learned and put on there. If they go on career study type field trips, you're going to want to put something in there. Maybe have the student create questions and ask questions about the skills, the education, the daily activities, what they have to do in their job entails, if it's meeting deadlines or problem solving skills and organizing skills or leadership skills. And you might want to put that in your binder. If you can get some kind of audio or video footage, that would even be excellent. And this will help them with their communication skills and their interviews later. And that would be great things to have in your portfolio or your binder. And if you're keeping samples of their work, maybe, I don't know how many you would want to keep, but maybe 2 pages a week from each subject or something like that. And the other ones you might want to put in a box for a year or two to hold on to them in case you need them, in case you're meeting with someone. So that's just an idea, and that's just my opinion. So, and you can go to Massachusetts homeschooling website. They have their homeschooling website, which gives you information about the laws, and you can read about that. I don't want to read whole pages of information to you, but I can scroll down and you can pause the video and read it. So let's see. This is another one. This is Massachusetts Law About Homeschooling, mass.gov, and you can go on there and see that. And they have a table of contents, and you can scroll down and you can click on the different links and read about that. And if you feel like you're going to have any problems, you can join the HSLDA. So, and this is IXL, and you can see how easy it is to print out the contents for so you have the activities and the curriculum that you would be using if you use IXL. I believe this one's not free. I think it's like $20 a month, but they do have free ones. Khan Academy is free for everyone, everywhere, and it goes from pre-K all the way up to college type classes. I'm not sure where you find the curriculum on there to print out, but you could look for it, or you can always ask them. All-in-One Homeschool is another free one, and it's a lot of fun. And they do written work during that time, but they have links where you go to, and you go to different websites that they might use one for reading and one for math. And they have a variety of subjects. They have Bible, but I think that if you want to do Bible, that you have to click on it separately other than their daily activities. And you can easily write down the activities that they're doing as they do them if you're keeping a daily log. And All-in-One Homeschool, like you might put history, they watched a Paul Bunyan video, and then you had discussion about it, because I know that's something they do, is they watch videos and they do reading and things like that. So you can just write down that activity for each subject and let them work at their own pace. And then you can have, if you have workbooks separately, that's also might help. But Schoolhouse Rock, that's not complete curriculum, it's just something that would add to your curriculum. And it has a variety of subjects: grammar, science, economics, history, math, and civics. So if you need a break and you're making lunch, but you still want them to learn schooling, or they need a break from writing, or just something different to have a variety of their schooling, there's some math, and it's singing along, and kids love it. It's great fun, and they learn so fast because they enjoy singing. And there's the different subjects in grammar. And you can see the noun, verb, conjunction, preposition, subject, predicate. American Rock teaches them about American independence, the Revolutionary War, the Constitution, immigration, branches of government, Declaration of Independence. Science Rock teaches them about gravity, the skeletal system, the nervous system, weather. They also have Earth Rock, which teaches them about rainforests and oceans and gardens and wind power and recycling. And then there's Money Rock that teaches them about personal budget, family bills, barter, stock exchange, interest and loans. So it's just a great addition to your schooling. International Children's Digital Library has, I think, like 5,000 books. And it has, if it comes out different times with different editions, it'll be on there. But you just click on the title of the book, and you click on how you want to read the book, and then you go on there and click on the page, and you can turn the page on the right or left tab, and there's the book. It's so easy. If you're going to the library, make sure you consider doing library skills and giving them a certificate of achievement for their library skills. Hippocampus is free educational resources for middle school to college, and you can see the subjects on the left-hand side, so that might be an excellent resource for you. At Home Middle School is 6th, 7th, and 8th grade resources. And Mr. Nussbaum, I don't know if you've heard of that, but it is an excellent website. MrNussbaum.com. You can see the spelling right here on the upper left-hand corner. And there was that would be an excellent website to add that you're going to be used for teaching your students. And you can see the different subjects, and they have games, math, language arts, history, USA, holidays, people, science, geography, and they have other ones as well. And this one uses other websites. Basically, it just gives you a lot of different links to use for teaching your students, so that if you want more and you want to add to their subjects, there it is. You know, I would do the core subjects and maybe have a core website that you use for 3 hours a day, and then if you want to use other ones, then go add that as well. You can create your schedules and put in there what you want to do. And this is Massachusetts Homeschool Support Groups, and you may want to join one because some of them might be free and some of them might cost a little money. But if you join some support groups, they might have information that you never considered that you might need. And they might be swapping books around. So if you have books you want to trade or books that you need for curriculum, they might have some that they're giving away or trading, and you can donate them to other families. If you have books you want to donate, that probably would be a good place to find them. And I did mention the binder and the portfolio, so you can find out how other people do binders and portfolios, but I think I mentioned everything that I might put into a binder and portfolio. Hopefully I covered it, but I think it's wonderful to have a binder or portfolio. You might want to have one for you and your student. You might want to have one separately for your student and have them do one as like a project, because that way they have one and they might want to showcase their best work, whereas you might want to do their variety of skills or progressive work. And that way they take pride in their work and they have that keepsake to look back on next year when they go to start school, or a couple of years later when they get older. If they decide to homeschool, they might have that keepsake to show their grandchildren. You know, it's wonderful looking back on homeschooling and the activities that they did and the field trips that they went on and volunteer work that they did and the information. So anyway, I hope that this helps someone out there with their homeschooling. And there are, if you need ideas for field trips, you can Google search for that and find ideas for field trips as well to take your students on. So anyway, I hope this helps someone with their homeschooling, and please feel free to leave comments. Have a great day. Bye-bye.